for Taylor Cornelius.
Yeah, just over or just under 55% his completion percentage. 2 and 4 is the record for Cornelius. Talked to him this week via Zoom and said he's really starting to figure it out. That game is slowing down for him, starting to understand the passing game, defensive concepts. Every game he feels a little more comfortable.
Leads this team in rushing yards so far this season as well. And he's going to take off again. And he'll get about 6 or 7 yards on that first down pickup with this Elks starting offense.
Yeah, Mark Cordy is going to move over and play for David Beard, who was traded this week and will start at center. And because Kenny Lawler, their #1 receiver, is out, the Elks will move Darrell Walker into his spot and play Dylan Mitchell in Darrell Walker's spot.
Cornelius still trying to figure out who he's got at the receiver position. Obviously a big loss, Kenny Lawler. Loxley in the game, pushing it ahead. He needed 2 yards. Trying to get to that Calgary 50.
I'm sure he got it, but will be very, very close to where they can go on 3rd down for sure.
Reload and do it again?
Yep.
Yeah. Trying to sneak in a little bit of extra effort there at the end. Big 3rd down early in this ball game. Kai Loxley looking to get a fresh set for the visitors. Some movement as he stuffed trying to go over the top, but it was Calgary who had jumped.
Yeah, I think right in the middle of that Calgary D line, someone jumped into the neutral zone.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty. Result will be a 1st down.
It's an intense game on Labor Day weekend, and these two rivals, and you can see the big hit.
That's Cameron Judge, who sent Loxley back.
You can see the intensity, and Coach Jones helping out with that offside call, making sure the officials noticed that there was movement interior of the D line for the Stamps.
Edmonton works from the Stampeder 45. 4 receivers out to the right for Cornelius. Hands it off, stuffed immediately. Nowhere to go for Litre. Stamps starting defense doing the job there.
Well, the veteran of 11 years, Sean Lemon, is leading their team in sacks. Thought I'd highlight a guy who knows a thing or two about Labor Day weekend. They get Jameer Thurman off the injured list, back at middle linebacker. And in the secondary, Natrell Jamerson, 3rd start for him at the field corner.
Jamerson out of Wisconsin, 26 years old. 21 games played south of the border. Now here with the Calgary Stampeders. Cornelius, 2nd and 12. Flag on the play, almost picked off. And then it bounces into the hands of Loxley right at the line for a 1st down, but there was a flag back by the quarterback.
It's usually in the area of holding if it's not a late hit on the quarterback. The reaction of Chris Jones says it all.
Illegal block, hands to the face. Edmonton #62. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Martez Ivy, the guilty party. Left tackle for Cornelius.
Loxley looking to have a comeback game from last week. Fought it a little bit last week. Whoa!
Bobbled snap. Cornelius can't get to it. Calgary's on it. Turnover in midfield. They scoop it up. Wigan. Johnny on the spot. Great field position coming up for Calgary Stampeders quarterback Jake Mayer.
What you make it. SodaStream. Push for better. Home Hardware's fall savings sale is here. Save up to $200 on Benchmark outdoor power equipment and 20% on Scott's Turf Builder fall lawn food. Now at Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
All across Canada, canola farmers face ever-changing challenges. To help overcome them, Invigor Hybrid Canola from BASF continually invests in developing new technology for your farm. Of course, innovation alone didn't put us on the map. You did. Thanks to you, Invigor has been grown on more acres than any other canola hybrid, so you can expect more when it counts most.
Approaching intersection. I've found a faster route. Turn right to save 26 seconds.
At Domino's, we put pizza over everything. That's why we do everything to make sure you get a hot, great-tasting pizza every time. Right now, mix and match medium 2-topping pizzas and sides for $8.99 each. Domino's, pizza over everything.
Not the first start for Mark Cordy at center. Had to start earlier in the season when David Beard went down, but with the trade, he is now the starting center, and this is hot and low on the shotgun snap to Taylor Cornelius. Can't handle it, and the first turnover of the Labor Day Classic.
Low snap, probably not good most of the time, but when your quarterback's 6'5", a little bit further to reach. Calgary takes over on the Edmonton 51. Empty backfield here for Mayer. Has some time. Now he's going to take off right up the middle. And is able to slide. Oh, and there's a late flag on the play. A little bit of contact at the end of the play there after a 6-yard pickup for Jake Mayer.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Edmonton number 49, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Mark McLaren comes in late, and I think, you know, when you look at Mayer here, he was declares there. It was a hit to the head. I think when they got the helmet-to-helmet hit to the head was the issue. You got to try to avoid contact. Another new starter for the Elks.
There, gets it away, looking to the end zone. Incomplete. He was looking for Malik Henry, who had 3 touchdowns last time out. But Scott Hutter there in coverage.
You know, I think by the reaction of Jake Mayer here that he is now trying to figure out the wind. I mean, that ball looked like it had all kinds of action on it in the wind, and he kind of put his hands up after this going, what happened there? Because he thought he had Henry in behind coverage, in behind Hutter here. And that ball sort of died on him. He sort of looked at the rack and said, what is going on up there? Okay, figure it out.
Gusts up to about 30 kilometers per hour here today. Now he'll drop it off.
Whoa.
And staying on the feet is Kadeem Carey. Carey down to the 10. Carey looking for the end zone, but he's tripped up before he can get there. Kadeem Carey almost took it all the way.
Boy, he split him nicely. 2 tacklers for the Elks. Had him in that Carey sandwich. But he squeezed right through there. Watch this. And best back in the league when you average his rushing yards per game. He is the most productive per game average. And him in combination with Peyton Logan, dynamic.
There he stands in for the left of Mayer. First and goal from the 2. They go back to Kadeem Carey, and he walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Calgary. And the Stampeders strike first on Labor Day.
Kadeem Carey, get him going early. Little swing pass to set this up. A nice cut back to the backside for the first score of this game. And the sudden change. You get the turnover, take full advantage of that momentum swing. Calgary Stampeders do it with a major.
A fumble at midfield by Cornelius. And Calgary takes advantage almost immediately. Paredes tacks on one more, and the Stampeders lead 7-0. Kadeem Carey having a sensational season. This right here, 6th rushing touchdown of the season for 35 on the Stampeders. A 4-play, 51-yard drive that took just over 2 minutes, finished off by Kadeem Carey.
Best receivers in the league will also get their nose dirty when they have to. Reggie Bagleton's going to make a key block so that there's a cutback lane set up right there for Kadeem Carey to score the first major of this ball game. Nice block by his teammate Reggie Bagleton.
It was Ed Gainey who actually stopped him on the play prior from getting into the end zone, and Gainey got a hand on him that time, but could not stop Kadeem Carey, averaging 6.5 yards per carry so far this season. Calgary boots it away. This will be taken just inside the 20. And back out towards the 35-yard line. There is a flag on the near sideline on that return.
During the return, holding, Edmonton number 46. 10-yard penalty, the first down.
And we talked about Taylor Cornelius and how he's starting to see it. He's starting to feel like he's more comfortable with the passing game, understanding the defensive concepts. They get the win versus Ottawa in that loss, but he threw for 287 yards. And his best on the night. And again, I mentioned the rushing. You mentioned the rushing. I think that's been an interesting progression for him as well. Talking to some defenders that have played against Cornelius, they've said, you know, it feels like you've got him cornered, and then in one stride, he's gone by you. He's a long strider when he takes off to run.
He's galloping. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It does. The galloper. Edmonton starts here on their own 11. Cornelius pressure got it away, and he has a completion on the near sideline, and that will give them some breathing room, courtesy Darrell Walker.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch Darrell Walker at that inside slot position. I mean, he's been the short side wide receiver with Kenny Lawler all game long, and just, you know, Edmonton fans real disappointed that Kenny Lawler hurt his ankle in that last game after a couple of massive catches, just outstanding catches by Lawler. But now they move Walker inside, see what he can do in at that slot back spot.
So handed off to Litre. Pushing ahead is the former Calgary Stampeder, 4 years here with Calgary.
Now this is going to just drive you crazy, because Kenny Lawler on a 1-yard goal line quarterback sneak is where he hurt his ankle. So it just so frustrating, disappointing when a guy who's worth the price of admission with the way he's catching the ball this year hurts his ankle on a play like that. First, I don't know, why is he in on that play? To be honest, I want a guy with a little more weight in his backside there.
2nd and 6 for Cornelius. In trouble, taken down and hammered to the turf and Jameer Thurman gets home.
Well, you know he's excited to be back in the lineup. I mean, this is a guy who was leading the way for this defense before he was injured. Finally gets off the injured list and back to lead this defense.
Peyton Logan waiting for this kick. Way back just outside his 40. End over end, it's going to bounce at the 49. Through Logan's legs, he turns around, picks it up, and is able to secure that football. Calgary defense going to work here early. Lemon forces Cornelius up, and Thurman finishes the job.
The players said he really wanted to emphasize the rivalry that exists, the need to bring energy, and that this is really the turning point of the season, the importance of winning the Labor Day game and how it sets you up going forward. Smith is living in the Bay Area in California. He's an accountant right now, loves being here. And in fact, you guys, he brought up his brother, his dad, and a friend. He said his dad keeps tabs on the league constantly, is always letting him know what transactions have happened with the Stampeders and the rest of this league.
Gotta love seeing some guys come back for the big game.
Yeah, absolutely. Two great former Stamps addressing the team. You know, Dave Dickinson made a great point too. He said, we talked to him on Zoom, that, you know, this is kind of the first afternoon game. And the guys from down south, they play their football throughout all levels in the afternoon. You know, it's a Sunday sport down there, Saturday for college, and then Friday for high school. But
they're used to what they're doing out here today. This is Mir. He's going to look down the field again, and that one is broken up. Taking another shot down the field. This time, Jamie Harry came over to make sure Henry couldn't get his hands on it.
Yeah, out of Ottawa, and Jamie Harry talked to Chris Jones about Harry playing that corner spot. This is his third start out there, and this is a guy who he said just keeps impressing. He just, you know, he's in practice, keeps making plays in practice. Got to give him a chance, give him a start at that wide side corner. He times his jump nice, tips that ball away from Malik Henry. Second time Mayor's tried to get it to him deep. Second time, it's incomplete.
This kick will be taken at the 15 by Marshall. Pushes it back up to about the 20-yard line on the return. Well, you can bring on the NFL. The 2022 season kicks off with Thursday Night Football as the Bills take on the reigning Super Bowl champs, the Rams. Action begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN and CTV. Canada's home for the NFL.
And my partner is working constantly on his phone on the NFL draft.
I've got 2 tonight. Scheduled them knowing I'd be here first, so I got some business to take care of this week.
It's an afternoon game.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah. First and 10 from their own 20 here for Cornelius. Quickly gets rid of it. He's got a completion. That one to the former Oregon Duck, Dylan Mitchell.
Show blitz from the Calgary Stampeders here. They're going to show like they're coming and then drop out. This is to try and confuse Taylor Cornelius, and that he may throw the pick, but he picked the right receiver to go to on the outside to Mitchell and got rid of it quickly. He thought there was going to be blitz coming, so he's ready to release it in a hurry.
9 yards to Mitchell. Loxley now to push ahead on second and short. And this time it does look like they've got enough to keep the offense on the field.
Yeah, I mentioned Kyle Loxley last week. He was targeted 6 times and just had 2 catches, but he should have had 5 of the 6 and really fought the football. And I talked to Chris Jones about that. He said, oh yeah, he's such a great athlete. He was really bothered by the fact that it wasn't his best game of the year, but they are gonna keep believing in the athleticism of Kyle Loxley. I think he's their secret weapon and can be.
With all of the injuries and turnover, he's the second most experienced receiver in this group. Cornelius now dumps it off to his running back, and that'll be pushed ahead. Pretty good work here by Kevin Brown, making his Edmonton Elks debut.
4th starting tailback. Actually 5th when you talk Leatre as well, but James Wilder hurt, Sherman Batty hurt, Malik Irons hurt, or not hurt, but not starting tonight or today, and a chance for Brown to roll in. Not a big guy, but he's strong. 20 reps at 225 on draft day.
He was signed on Thursday. Today's Monday. There's a completion, a little bit of room. Nice work here from Walker, and he's got a first down. Darrell Walker shaking and baking here.
Take on this bubble screen out to Walker. It's just nice block right here. got to get the first one, and you get a chance to your receiver to pick up those extra yards. If you don't get that first one, by the time he catches it, regroups and turns, it's over.
Cornelius has started this game 4 of 4 for 47 yards. This time we'll hand it off. It's back into the belly of Brown. And he's got a decent burst there as he gets a good chunk on first down.
Yeah, you know, I mean, our league is full of you know, the history of smaller tailbacks that are
after the opening quarter here in a Battle of Alberta on Labor Day, and we do have to apologize for some technical issues that we had just before that touchdown. Old Suits here pulled the plug on the broadcast.
I'm sorry, I just kicked it. I'm sorry, I got to plug back in, and we've got a tie football game after quarter. Big response by the Elks. Important to try and take away some of the early Calgary momentum. Take a look at the touchdown one more time with Cornelius stepping up, buying himself some more time, and then chucking it. I mean, just getting it out there into that wind, and the wind is stronger than it appears. I mean, it is really gusting, as you mentioned, up to 30 kilometers an hour, so he really muscled that one to Mitchell, and a great response after the Kadeem Carey touchdown.
Kadeem Carey has pretty much been all of the offense so far for Calgary here this afternoon. 15 yards on the ground, 39 through the air. He's got the touchdown as well. And they're in a 2nd and 3 situation. That's Dylan Mitchell, the touchdown scorer the other way, his first in the Canadian Football League. Mayer at midfield. It off. What a tackle. Scott Hutter slides up there and wraps up the running back immediately. Peyton Logan in the game.
Yeah, you know, Scott Hutter is having a great season. I mean, I know this team has struggled, but it you know, there's guys that can sign their painting. There's guys that have played great. I mean, he's the safety, and if you're an Elks fan, you're saying, well, the safety's making plays, 47 defensive plays, that's 48, and that leads his team. The downside is he's a safety.
45-yard kick into the wind. Mitchell on the return, and really didn't have a sniff of anything there.
And I mentioned this before, but downside is that your safety making all those defensive plays, he lines up 15 yards usually from the line of scrimmage. So that means the offense is accumulating yards by the time he gets there to make a tackle. But up on the line, that last one forcing the punt from Calgary. The ball back to his offense and Taylor Cornelius.
Hutter drafted in 2019, 50th overall, 25 years old, and really, as you mentioned, having an opportunity here in Edmonton and making the most of it on the defensive side of the ball.
Looks like he knows where the gym is as well.
Cornelius now out to his right, has a completion on the run. Very well done as he gets Vincent Forbes Montbleau involved for the first time.
Out of Laval, the rookie Montbleau, and you talked to the organization talking about it before the game that reminds him a little of Ben Cahoon. Now, we're not making comparisons, just the sort of the size and the way he runs routes and catches the football. He said, organization pretty excited about this kid from Laval.
Drafted in the 3rd round by Montreal this past year, went to camp, was released, and picked up by Edmonton. Litre with some room to run, and he's got a first down on another completion for Cornelius, who's now 7 for 7 on the road.
Becomes the 4th receiver in that 4-receiver set to the left of Taylor Cornelius, just pushes out to the flat and then does the rest on his own. Been the starting tailback for the last few weeks for Edmonton. Hard-nosed runner. Looking for contact.
Kevin Brown in there now behind Cornelius. Cornelius has it again. Looked for Mitchell, defended well, and it falls incomplete. Deontay Ruffin there to blow him up.
Yeah, Ruffin makes the play, but, you know, Mitchell should have had it. It looked like it hit him in the hands, and Cornelius looks sharp. He does look sharp this afternoon. That throw a couple of plays ago was right on the money, and that you can't put it any better to Mitchell. Got to hang on to that one.
First incompletion of the day for Cornelius. He's at 124 yards and a touchdown to that guy right there, Dylan Mitchell. 2nd and 10 now on the 43. Cornelius under pressure on the run. They're going to bat it away again. And eventually knocking it out of bounds was Cam Judge.
That's Calgary ball. He knows the rules. You have to be the last to touch it out of bounds, and he got it.
The crowd here at McMahon loves it. Calgary's defense strips Cornelius again.
Sean Lemon's going to get the strip, but if this ball goes out on the roll here, it's still Edmonton ball. But that hustle from Cam Judge, understanding the rule, and then all you have to do is be the last to touch it out of bounds. He does that, and it's Calgary football. Great play by the Canadian, Cam Judge.
7 points they have on a board off of a turnover as well. That's a nice play defensively. Konar comes over and bats away the Mare attempt.
Back-to-back Canadian linebackers stepping up on Labor Day. I see you guys. Cam Judge having a fantastic year for the Calgary Stampeders, and so is Adam Konar. Got a chance to talk to him on Zoom as well this week. Comes across with a nice break on the football. Great knockdown. University of Calgary product. Said he still talks to his dad, but he said the rest of the family does more of the coaching up. Kevin played for the BC Lions.
Empty backfield here for Mare. And we've got a whistle just as that ball is snapped with a flag on the field.
Procedure, Calgary number 63. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Derek Dennis, the guilty individual in that left tackle position.
I love to see these Canadians on Labor Day. Great weekend for Canadian football and bringing Canadians together. Another awesome crowd here at McMahon Stadium. The tailgate was going off. I know you and I walking out, and we were so tempted to just trickle on down to the parking lot.
Both sides of the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Both parking lots completely packed. Quite the scene. 3 to the left, 3 to the right for Mare. Gets tripped up and taken down on the play. It's Serezna with his 5th sack of the season.
Just 3-man pressure here, and they get there. Serezna's the stand-up off the edge, but just, you can see it's declared 3-man. No hiding of a blitz, no showing and then dropping out. It was just 3-man pressure, and the 5-0 lineman for the Stamps just could not hang on. Get pressure with just 3 and help get back in a big way.
Bounce on this kick just inside the 15. Mitchell picks it up, taken down immediately, but no damage after that Cornelius fumble for Edmonton because of this play right here by Serezna. Just one of 3 starters who also started in this game last year. A true survivor on the Elks defense. Highlights. Well, this is the final Labor Day game for G. Roy Simon, and he stepped up in a big way. A couple of touchdowns to wrap up his Labor Day career. Now he's on staff with the Elks, and he's with our Sarah Orlesky.
The assistant GM with the Elks, Preston, and so we were just showing highlights from 2013 for you. You never got to participate in Battle of Alberta, but what was it about Labor Day, especially when you think in 2013, that stood out to you about these games?
Well, it just feels good to play in a Labor Day game. You know, the weather starts turning, football really gets serious, and you can just feel the energy growing.
When you look at this game right now for it, the Elks being able to battle back, obviously there's been a lot of changeover in your roster. When you look look at this from a management perspective, what is it that the identity is you're hoping that you're building here with this group?
Well, we're going to have a fast, physical, tough team, and we're starting to settle in. We're starting to get, guys healthy. Guys are starting to gain confidence, so we're looking to finish out the year strong.
I always love to get things from your perspective, considering the career that you had for it. When you look out there, what you've seen so far from your group, what is going to be key for them to be able to have success?
We got to control the ball. We got to control the line of scrimmage, and we got to stop the big plays and make big plays.
Wishing you guys the best of luck today. Thanks, G-Roy.
Thank you.
They'll dump it off again to Kevin Brown, who goes up and over a defender. And this is one of those guys that G-Roy Simon probably helped find, and he looks good today.
This has been an interesting year for G-Roy.
Illegal
and Chris
block.
Jones. And
Edmonton number 27. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
little push in the back there that was very marginal for Tanner Green. Once the play had gone by him. But talking G-Roy Simon, that's one of the best of all time, one of the GOATs of the league, and now assistant GM and a chance to making a lot of moves over the last month, different trades, trying to find that combination they're looking for. He said he wants a fast, physical football team that can control the line of scrimmage.
First and 20 now for Cornelius. Has some time, gets it back to Brown. He pushes ahead for a short pickup, and it'll leave them in a second and long situation. Boy, do they have Brown involved a lot here so far.
Yeah, why not? I mean, he showed that burst. He's a guy that can break it, turn a 5-yard run into a touchdown that can take it the distance at any time or any place on the field. Anything can happen on Labor Day.
Oh, no doubt about that.
Records go out the window.
Second and 14, crowd getting behind this Calgary defense. 3-man pressure. Cornelius thought about a deep shot, dumps it off to Brown instead. Stays on his feet, pushing ahead. Got back to maybe the original line of scrimmage prior to that first penalty, and it'll be third and about 9 or 10.
Another great play by Cameron Judge. First to contact Brown on that swing pass and get out there and track him down. He's spying him. He flies out there to the right of your screen. First guy to make contact and slow him down to allow his teammates to get there.
John Ryan set to kick it away. Just inside his own 25 with the wind at his back. Peyton Logan takes a 52-yard kick cleanly. He's going to try to kick it to the outside. Logan, he's going to find some room all the way to the 40, stays on his feet. Patiently up the sideline, still going, and eventually taken down by Litre with a touchdown-saving tackle late. 46-yard return for Peyton Logan.
Well, on the team, Scott Hutter had a choice to make here. He's going to have a chance to get him right here. Now, he's got a choice. If he can catch him here with his speed, or does he have to take an angle and risk the cutback by Peyton Logan? He chooses to go for it and just misses. Logan gets the corner and picks up good yardage on the return.
Great field position for Mayer on the Edmonton 43. And he misses his intended target. It was Beggleton. He fired it just wide of him.
Just that acceleration by Peyton Logan on that outside. And I've been in these situations before, and you're trying to make the in real-time decision. What angle do I take to catch him? And Hutter on this cover team, he looks okay. I got to widen. Can I get there? Can I get there? He's fast.
In his defense, I don't know how many people are going to be able to catch up to Peyton Logan.
Not many.
Logan had over 100 total yards of offense through the air and on the ground last week. And now an interception. That is picked off and brought back the other way. And Jake Mayer intercepted by this Edmonton defense. There's a flag on the play. It's Mark McLaurin who steps up and makes a big play in this football game. But multiple flags now out on the field.
Mark McLaurin out of Mississippi State showed he was on the line of scrimmage. We'll see what happens
Major
here.
foul, unnecessary roughness. Calgary number 88. 15-yard penalty after the interception. Automatic first down.
The interception stands. Mark McLaurin out of Mississippi State is up on the line of scrimmage. Dave Dickinson wants an explanation. And he's up on the line of scrimmage here, almost showing like he's going to blitz, and then he drops under, and it looked like Jake Mayer tried to just put a little air into this ball. He doesn't want to zip it into that curl. And that extra time, that split second was enough for the rookie to cut underneath. And let's see where the unnecessary roughness was right there. The grabbing of the helmet. Kamar Jordan.
How's that for your first CFL game if you're McLaurin? Nice way to fit in with the new club. Good field position now for Cornelius, working from the Calgary 50. He'll get it to Mitchell, and Mitchell will push ahead down towards the 40. Almost enough. They'll give him about 9 on this first down. This Mitchell's interesting. I chatted with G. Roy Simon on my radio show up in Edmonton earlier in the week, and I said, you know, with Lawler out, who are some guys that you think will need to take advantage of this opportunity? And he's the first guy that he mentioned, Dylan Mitchell. And obviously he's had a great start to this football game.
2018, 10 touchdowns with the Ducks.
66 yards so far today and a touchdown as well.
So again, big time college football, and he's just got to learn the nuances of the Canadian game. Loxley on that short yardage and different angles, size of the field, how to use the waggle, all things that the quarterbacks and receivers have to get down when they come north.
1st and 10. Loxley will stay in the game at quarterback as the Elks try to mix things up. And he's going to keep it himself, push ahead, stay on his feet. He had a short pickup on first down, 2 yards, and Cornelius will trot back out onto the field.
Remember, you can play this year, new rule, 2 quarterbacks at the same time. So Loxley lines up as a slot back, could drop back, could be double pass, things like that. Runs an RPO there. There he is out of the slot.
Walker slides in behind his quarterback, slot to the right. Cornelius looks that way. Now he's going to come over the middle. There's a flag on the play as he gets it to Kevin Brown. Brown stays on his feet, rumbles down inside the 10. But is this one coming back? I believe it is.
Holding. Edmonton number 68. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
David Foucault gets caught. He's the left guard. I think in real time I saw this. It was almost a takedown. What a run by Kevin Brown, though. He's really showing something. He gets up around the neck. Just bad decision by a guy who should know better in David Foucault in his 5th year in the Canadian Football League. I mean, that takes a big, big gain by Kevin Brown off the board.
Well, for an organization that's desperate for offensive weapons, Kevin Brown making the most of his opportunity here early. 2nd and 17 now for Cornelius. On the run out to his right. He's got to get rid of it. And eventually he will throw it away and avoid the sack. As Calgary had him on the run early. 3rd and 17.
Had a little discussion on the sideline. I mean, how long would this be a field goal? There's 7 yards. You're 7 yards from the line of scrimmage.
Have the wind as well. They have opted to kick this away.
We saw a similar decision by Craig Dickinson in that game yesterday. he decided to try field goal.
John Ryan lets it fly from midfield. Trying to drop it in there. Into the end zone. Grabbed there by Logan. And Edmonton on top. Halftime coming up, and lots to discuss. Maybe on that man right there, Jake Mayer is just 3 of 9, 47 yards. So Kate and the panel will have that for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if the panel is going to talk about this one with Bo Levi Mitchell, second straight start, as we mentioned off the top. The career leader for Calgary Stampeders at the quarterback position has been relegated to the number 2 spot behind Jake Mayer right now, who hasn't been on in this first half.
This is the first time that we've really seen him be off a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, his other 4 starts, he's looked excellent. 3 of 9, 47, and an interception so far here in the first half, and his team trails by 1. This is always a good idea. They'll hand it off to Kadeem Carey, spins his way up to the 45, and that'll take us inside 3 minutes. Kadeem Carey has had all the offense. Outside of Kadeem Carey, Reggie Bagleton's got 8 yards, and that's it. Calgary trailing at home.
Will we see Bo Levi Mitchell? Taylor Cornelius has looked pretty good. What about the Lemonator? Did I do okay, Milt Stiegel?
I'll give you a C-.
C-? You do it. You do the TV.
Rose silver, rose silver. That's all you need to say is rose silver every single time.
And C- was pretty good for me back in the day.
Going to get a little momentum, get a little passing game going, but it is an interesting discussion. We talked to Dave Dickinson about the decision a couple of weeks ago to go with Jake Mayer after the Toronto game, where Bo struggled and then start him last week. Played great in the loss against Winnipeg. He said, you know, I still believe in Bo Levi Mitchell. I still trust him, still believe in him, and we'll go to him if we feel like we should. But he also, throughout history as a head coach, has not wanted to pull that trigger too quickly. He wants to give the guy a chance to work out of a slump early in a game.
Handed off to Carey, and he emerges from a pack and has almost enough for a first down. Multiple flags on the far side of the field after a 9-yard pickup for Kadeem Carey. Just quickly back to Bo. 2-0 versus Edmonton this year with 600 yards passing, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Yeah, so it makes for an interesting debate and discussion on whether or not the former quarterback, who understands the dynamic here better than anybody.
Is that such a different discussion because you're going to back to a Hall of Famer, essentially, right? Yeah. You're not going to a guy who's unproven the other way.
Back block. Calgary number 88. We'll apply that from the end of the play. It'll be second down.
That's the second penalty on Kamar Jordan. You know, especially on Labor Day Monday, the early game in the battle, you can't come from outside of the tackle box and blindside a defender like Kamar Jordan did at the top of your screen there. Dave disagrees. He thinks he was in the box. He was close enough. You have about 3 yards on either side of the tackle.
Not pleased as he watches on. His team now facing a 2nd and 16 situation. 3 receivers to the left for Mayer. Looks to the right to start. Now back across to the left. Over the middle, wide open. He's got Henry for the first time today. And now he's got some room. Oh, up and just inside the 40. But a big play for the Stampeders. They needed that.
Did you notice the eyes of Jake Mayer in the huddle during that break? And while they were sorting out the penalty, it looked like he looked to the bench 3 or 4 times thinking, I got to get something going here and help to make this decision easy for my head coach to allow me to start the second half.
Hands it off to Logan. And that is stuffed before anything could happen on the play.
And this throw right here on the post route, you know, this might be the one that gives him a chance, at least early on, to Malik Henry. See what they do with the rest of this drive and the rest of this first half. But you know when you do have a Hall of Famer sitting there, that guy out there starting, and Jake Mayer knows that, you know, I got to make it happen. Love it. Love the competition.
Henry, his most dangerous weapon, and now he does get him involved. Mayer pressured, and he'll be taken down at the 45. Avery Ellis making his Edmonton debut, picks up his 4th sack of the season.
Yeah, and Avery Ellis can thank the back end, the secondary. Go ahead and run it, guys, because I don't think that Jake Mayer wanted to force it anywhere here. Pretty good coverage. Stop it there. So you got, stop it right there, guys. You got 2 over the top here. This one, this is probably the only outlet he has, but he's locked in. Coverage there, coverage goes to, all works together.
And that has pushed them out of field goal range. So it'll be Grace punting into the wind. Mitchell tracking it, watching it, and it bounces at the 6 and then comes right back. Nice kick.
Yep, great punt.
Minute and 14 seconds left. Edmonton with the lead, a bunch of new faces, and this is why we said at the beginning of the broadcast yesterday, again today, anything can happen on a day like this.
Well, and with a lot of new faces, the downside for the Elks is you can't, it's tough to get continuity. But the upside for the Elks is it's tough for Calgary to know what they're facing. It's tough to scout a whole bunch of brand new guys that you just don't have a lot of video on and that are out there playing just and don't know any better, really. Because Calgary heavily favored coming in and should have been.
12.5-point favorites at kickoff. Another completion near side of the field. It's back to Mitchell again from Cornelius, who's only missed twice today.
I know a lot of Elks fans are trying to find, real positives on this season. There's still lots of time to go here in the regular season, and I think we've seen, a first half of a bright spot in Dylan Mitchell. Sort of emerging as a guy that can be trusted in the receiving core. You get Lawler back, Darrell Walker starts to look better for the Elks.
Loxley, 2nd and 1, pushing ahead, and the line moved things well there. That should be enough for a first down for Edmonton with 66 seconds remaining in the half.
I'll add Kevin Brown to that discussion.
Yep, I was going to say that too.
Yeah.
Put Kevin Brown in that conversation.
Like his first half. Little get up and go from number 4. Not in the lineup, not in the huddle. Oh, there he is. There he is.
Solid bounce back.
5'9". He was hiding behind the old lineman.
You lose those guys sometimes. Not when he gets the ball, though. He stands out, no doubt about it. Here's Cornelius, pressured, gets it away, goes back to Mitchell, who makes the catch and is taken down. But a nice play by Cornelius with about 4 Stampeders closing in on him.
Full pressure coming, blitz. Cornelius knew it. Retreats. I think he's had a very good first half throwing the ball. I mean, it's tricky up there. It's a tricky wind, and that's clearly bothering Jake Mayer a little bit, but really hasn't affected Cornelius all that much. I mean, he is 12 of 14.
14 of 37 last week with a few deep shots, so he's bounced back nicely. Goes back to Mitchell, and Mitchell's got it. Flag on the play, back by the quarterback, but another completion to Dylan Mitchell.
Yeah, this offense for the Elks would look even better in this first
Edmonton
half.
number 60, 10-yard penalty. He's 2nd down.
If not for a few of these penalties that have taken big gains off the board, that was Garnett at the right tackle spot right here, but we've seen Foucault with one that took a big Kevin Brown catch and run off the board as well. They may have even some more points if not for a couple of these holding calls. Now, holdings are sometimes, a good D-line will draw a holding call. And that's what's part of what's happening right now. But Chris Jones, the head man, wants an explanation. We got to stop doing that.
2nd and 16. Back out to Brown again. A solid burst, gets it to the 20, stays on his feet, and eventually they'll blow it down just outside of the 20 with 9 seconds on the clock.
Well, I think the Stamps are figuring out defensively how many it's going to take to corral number 4, who they're just figuring out. I mean, they haven't played against him before, but watch how many it takes, and he doesn't end up going down. They just blow the whistle and say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cameron Judge. There's a couple more coming in there going, this guy's got some talent.
Pretty much impossible to game plan for that guy when this time last week the Elks didn't even know they had him.
Exactly. Wow, it's been a different year in that regard for Chris Jones. And talked to him about it in the Zoom calls. You know, he went through his injury list first, and there's about 14 on that, including Manny, Arsenault, and Kenny Lawler.
We've got ourselves a football game at McMahon, Labor Day Classic Battle of Alberta style, and it's Edmonton on top 8-7 on the road against the Calgary Stampeders. Let's send it to Kate, Calgary, where the Stampeders trail Edmonton 8-7. Calgary head coach Dave Dickinson is with our Sarah Orleski.
Dave, your offense struggled to get going in that first half. Are you comfortable continuing with Jake Mayer as quarterback?
Well, we're going to look at everything. So guess what? Everything has to be looked at. It was a poor performance. Let's see if we can rebound.
When you look at it, what was the point of emphasis? Was it on the offensive side of the ball for you at the half?
Yeah, I mean, effort's one thing, but poor execution. And I mean, everyone's trying hard, and it's two professional clubs going at each other. One club played better than the other, so we got to make it right this 30 minutes.
But you will start with Jake.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. You know how it is. Sorry not to give you a scoop on your last weekend, but we'll get it done.
Thank you.
She tried. And hey, both have come out in warm-up and just to loosen up after the halftime break, and looked like they have a little urgency to both of them. Bo was getting out there and put a little zip on the ball himself. So interesting debate back at the panel. I think that was the agree to disagree segment.
Well, we can debate this too. Edmonton decided to not take the wind in the fourth quarter. They're going to elect to take the ball right now. And Calgary will have the wind in the fourth quarter.
Unless it changes.
Of this game.
Yeah, unless the wind changes.
Yeah. Salisbury on the return. It's a short one back up to the 35-yard line. And there's a look at a newfound weapon for Edmonton here in Dylan Mitchell.
Yeah, you know, I think if you're a struggling Elks team, you're looking for, building blocks. You're looking for guys that you can start to trust and guys that'll start to make plays for you. I thought Dylan Mitchell had a great first half. His quarterback was on and seeing it. This was his first touchdown in the Canadian Football League. Mitchell out of Oregon getting it done.
Cornelius with maybe his best first half of the season. 13 of 15, 162, and a touchdown. Moves this ball quickly, high one, and Mitchell went up and it falls incomplete. Deontay Ruffin there in coverage, 17 working against 17 on the other side.
That's been a bit of a juggling act since Trey Roberson got hurt in that Calgary secondary. Roberson out in 4 games now, but Ruffin took his spot. That moved Jonathan Moxey into Ruffin's old halfback spot. Now Moxey has played halfback before, and that's why Jamerson is playing the wide side corner. Moxey's old spot.
Kevin Brown stands in there next to his quarterback. He had an excellent first half as well. 2nd and 10 for Cornelius after the incompletion to start the half. Near side, almost intercepted, falls incomplete. That looked like it had pick written all over it. Jamerson, though, couldn't haul it in.
Well, it just, first of all, it had some heat on it. This was a laser, and it looked like really a flick of the wrist because the pocket started to collapse. In fact, you see Cornelius taking the hit, but Loxley got his eyes and he didn't see it. He didn't see it, didn't catch it, didn't find the football fast enough to make the play on it, although I think it was too high anyway.
First 2 and out of the game for Edmonton. This kick will bounce out of bounds. No opportunity for a return for Peyton Logan.
Mention it, Calgary heavy favorites. It will be Jake Mayer to start the second half as he walks out back to the huddle, but he's been playing against the defense that's maybe having their best half. And again, a lot of changes in that defense, as you mentioned, but guys are making plays. That was Scott Hutter you saw, Jamie Harry, a nice play by Konar, and a knockdown, an interception by McLaurin. And an Elks defense that's stepping up and playing sort of Chris Jones defense style. That's what we've been missing a little bit this year.
5 of 11, 80 yards, and an interception for Mayer. Pressured here, gets it away, and it falls incomplete. Looking for his go-to guy, Malik Henry, had a quiet first half. Just 1 catch on 4 targets.
You know, we always focus on quarterbacks, and you know, if they're struggling, it's the question of, well, what about the quarterback? But sometimes the defense is forcing the inaccuracy or the poor play from a quarterback, and that was another case of it. There was a guy in his face, and Jake Mayer had to throw it around that pass rush, and the accuracy wasn't there.
And he was in his face almost immediately, too. There's no time for anything to develop. 2nd and 10 now is what they face on their own 30-yard line. 3 to the left, 3 to the right for Mayer. And he'll dump it off over the middle. Tackle made, though, and that'll bring up 3rd down. And once again, Edmonton's defense gets the job done. Akunovanu with his first catch of the ball game.
Just 3-man pressure. Edmonton has actually got some pressure with just 3 guys up front. In fact, sacked by Jake Serezna was with 3-man pressure. And that makes it tough on a quarterback as well. 12 guys on the field, there's 9 back in coverage, and the windows get smaller.
Cody Grace lets this fly from his own 25-yard line. Mitchell, watch it bounce. Now he scoops it up after a 37-yard kick, has nowhere to go. Wrapped up immediately by the Calgary Stampeders. Cornelius, 13 of 17, with a touchdown and a lead on Labor Day.
Fast.
Yeah, you get around quick, eh? No chance we'd keep up with that guy. Stampeders have had a little bit of trouble doing that today as well.
Peyton Logan, there's another one.
Yeah, that put them on a team. Ooh. That pass in to the ground, looking for Jalen Marshall, and Cornelius just missed.
Yeah, he rushed it. The mechanics weren't there, and even at this level, with a quarterback that's had a real good first half, it happens. Get a little sloppy with the technique, and the ball bounces off the turf.
Chris Jones watching on as his team searches for their first win against a divisional opponent this season. 2nd and 10 on their own 37. Cornelius in trouble, taken down somewhat awkwardly. Arimolade will get credit for this, his 3rd sack of the year.
Yeah, that front 4, the guys talked about it. They talked a little bit about Sean Lemon and talked a little bit about the front 4 and the pressure. There were a few holding calls by the Elks O-line in the first half, and those were created by the pressure and by the front 4, the Stampeders. And there's a sack for Arimolade.
2nd consecutive 2-0 for the visitors. Low kick taken nicely there by Logan. And good cover downfield by Edmonton. Limits any return opportunities for Peyton Logan, one of the better guys in the league to do it. Cornelius tripped up and taken down by Arimolade, and Calgary's got the ball back. Jake Mayer looking to get going, 6 of 13. He'll be throwing here, and he's got a completion near side, just shy of a first down, but for the first time today, he connects with the veteran receiver, Kamar Jordan.
Yeah, Kamar Jordan, I'm sure, just looked in the mirror. He's a veteran, 9 years, all with the Calgary Stampeders, and, you know, a veteran that would look in the mirror after a couple of first-half penalties and go, okay, I got to get back and refocus, get back to doing what I do well, which is catching the football. He wished he could have turned up there and got a couple extra.
2nd and 3. Kadeem Carey stands in there to the right of his quarterback. Mayer will be throwing. Far side, wide open. He's got a man. And that'll be enough for the first down on the play, as he goes right back to Jordan again.
Yeah, and back-to-back good throws by Jake Mayer, trying to build a little confidence here, build a little bit of rhythm. stay on the field, get a couple of first downs, feel like you're seeing it. I think those are both reads that took the ball to where he threw them on the outside because of the coverage he saw in front of him.
Calgary hasn't had a problem getting to about this area on the field. It's just Edmonton has kind of stopped them and kept them out of field goal range for the most part. This time they'll hand it off, and look at this burst. Kadeem Carey, he'll take it down inside the 30, and never a bad idea to get that guy the ball.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be through the run game either. It could be in that little swing pass game or the check downs. But yeah, Kadeem Carey almost 70 yards in the first half. It was really their best offensive weapon in an offense that was struggling in the first half, and getting him back involved, big. Look what he can do when he gets the ball in his hands.
Puts him up to 50 yards on just 7 carries, and that touchdown back to the first quarter. Nair on the run, dumps it off. Kamar Jordan again, his 3rd catch on this drive, right back to about the line of scrimmage.
You know, on that play, quarterback's got to get it to that receiver right away or not at all, almost. You know, I mean, it puts Kamar Jordan in a bind when you have the short side to push to the flat there. When you bring everybody in, you really got 2 options for Jake Mary. He's got Kamar Jordan, or he's got a deep route. The deep route was covered. Just, if you get to him early, he can make a guy miss and maybe make that play work.
They lost a yard. Peyton Logan now in the game. Mayer to the left. He's got a completion, and that will go for a first down. And it's Begelton trying to stay in bounds, but he ends up taking it all the way down inside the 10.
Well, best drive of the game for Jake Mayer now. I mean, now he gets a couple of 2nd and longs where he converts. Good zip on the ball, nice tight spiral. Feels like the wind has died down a little bit. That probably helps, and getting his playmakers involved. Begelton, that's his first, is it not? No, he's got 2.
Second trip to the red zone today. Logan remains in the game to the right of Mayer. Far side, he's got a completion to the end zone. Touchdown, Reggie Begelton puts Calgary back on top, and Jake Mayer has thrown his first touchdown pass of the day.
Just like that, the head coach has made the right decision on who should start the second half, because he has allowed, as Matt Dunnigan said at halftime, he has allowed Jake Mayer to work his way to success, work out of the little bit of a slump he was in, maybe not seeing it perfectly in the first half, and the yardage down, the completion percentage down. Coach Dickinson says, no, you're gonna go back out there and work it out. And he certainly has on this drive. They're going for 2.
We'll look for a couple more. Kadeem Carey back in the game. Mayer looks to his left, throws to his left. Henry's got it. Give him 2 more. Malik Henry, 2nd catch of the game, and Calgary now leads 15-8 at home on Labor Day. Reggie Begelton, his 3rd touchdown of the season, a big one as Calgary gets.
They go with Bo Levi Mitchell in the second half, or they should go with Jake Mayer in the second half. I think the panel agreed to disagree throughout that discussion, but Dave Dickinson knew he was going to let Jake Mayer get a couple of series here to see how he would work it out. He goes 6 plays, 61 yards, 253. First touchdown pass of the afternoon to Begelton, and a 2-point convert with great accuracy to Malik Henry. There's 8 points sitting right there, standing on the bench.
Salisbury on the return, takes it back to the 25 before he is stopped. Edmonton, we know, very well documented, struggling mightily at home for the last little while. Not bad on the road, though.
I've been better on the road, but that's just, when you think of the Edmonton football history, and Commonwealth Stadium. That just, it's still, I still double take on the struggles they've had and how long it's been.
13 games in a row they've lost at home.
I remember for years and years never winning there.
Cornelius started 10 of 11 for 143s, 3 of 7 since for just 19 yards. They'll hand it off to Brown, pushes ahead. And eventually Berglund takes him down after a 7-yard pickup.
Yeah, early in the first half, Calgary scored that opening points, and there was an immediate response from Taylor Cornelius when he hit Dylan Mitchell on the touchdown. So, you know, again, on the road, on Labor Day, here in the hostile territory, a response even for a few first downs to take away a little of the momentum. Real important here.
Need 3 yards to pick one up on this play. 3 receivers, including Mitchell, out to the left. Cornelius in the pocket, down the field, up for grabs, and it falls incomplete. He was looking for Jalen Marshall, and it looked like he had him.
Yeah, again, you know, the Elks receivers, saw Kyle Loxley do this in the first half, and I think this time it's the same thing from Jalen Marshall. Just got to get their eyes around quicker, because that was a well-thrown football right in between coverage. The deep man not quite there, the shallow guy just a little bit too shallow. He dropped it in between the two of them, and Jalen Marshall a little slow to find it, and then he just shot his hands up and it was too late.
Marshall was originally with Edmonton and was released and signed back. Would have liked to have that one. And now a block! Ryan has his kick blocked. Where is it? It's laying there. Calgary picks it up. Or do they? It looks like some Elks dive in right in the end. Madness at McMahon here in the third quarter. And a turnover has set the stage for the Calgary Stampeders to take control of this football game. Ryan has it blocked right at the line, and Calgary's in business.
Calgary, there you go. A special teams first block punt for McKnight. Get that one painted for the trophy case.
If you're Jake Mayer, you can't ask for a better situation. This drive starts on the Edmonton 12. Kadeem Carey standing to his quarterback's right. And they'll give it to Carey. Spins away, tracked down from behind after a short pickup on first down. Matthew Thomas there to wrangle him in.
Watch how Carey tries to sell this. He's gonna turn his shoulders this way. And watch, just before the snap of the ball, Carey's going to turn his shoulders like, don't look at me, I'm not getting the ball. Oh, yeah. Doesn't really fool the D-line, but he tried.
Just back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. Mary's going to look to the end zone corner. And he's got it! Hangs on in spectacular fashion. 2nd touchdown of the quarter for Reggie Begelton.
Just like that, Mayer's back. Little pressure off the edge, and the accuracy bang on to Begelton right in the corner, and a contested catch. How good is that?
I don't know what else McConzell's supposed to do in that situation defensively.
Yeah, you can't be in better position. Had his hand in there too, but because it was so accurate on the throw, Mayer and Begelton reeled it in. Strong hands.
Extra point hammered home. And just like that, Calgary goes from trailing 8-7, now leading 22-8.
Happens quickly. Reggie Begelton's been targeted 7 tonight, 5 catches. Last week it was 6 targets for 6 catches. Looked like he's starting to gain some momentum and get that form back that Reggie Begelton we're used to. But this is a tremendous football play by both Jake Mayer and his receiver, Begelton. Great coverage, cuts underneath, which was a great move by McConzo, but didn't matter because the accuracy of the throw. You can't put it in a better spot for Begelton to give him a chance, and he just wins the fight.
He even had his arm in there.
Oh, yeah.
He had his arm right in, and Begelton was able to hang on.
That quick release recognition and great accuracy from Jake Mayer.
Jake Mayer was 5 of 11 in the first half. He now sits at 13 of 20 with 2 touchdowns to show for his work. Salisbury takes it just inside his own 15. Trying to find some room on the far side of the field. He'll get it out to the 40, but there's a flag on the play as he tried to turn that corner. Chris Jones watching on.
During the return, holding, Edmonton number 34. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Penalty's been an issue for Edmonton.
Former Calgary Stampeder hit there. Litre.
Cornelius in a hole that if he doesn't get out of this one, again, you feel that field start to tilt in a big way.
Sits at 162 yards passing and a touchdown. Wanted to go down the field. Now he's just going to take off looking for some blockers. Picks up about 3 or 4 yards on that scramble. Looked like he was going to fire that one down the field, though, didn't it?
Yeah, he had a couple of receivers, but I felt like the Calgary secondary were sort of baiting him. In other words, make it look like this guy's open. One of them was Dylan Mitchell. Make Mitchell look like he's open, and then I'm going to cut underneath it. Stephen McAdoo trying to figure out a way to get it done without his top receiver in Kenny Lawler and his number 2 in Manny Arsenault.
2nd and 6 now for the visitors. Whoa, bobble snap again. Cornelius taken down. Drive over. Rimolade is there for the 2nd time today.
Yeah, that's a free one for Rimolade. That's the 2nd bad snap from Mark Cordy up front, who's getting the start because of the trade with David Beard. And now, you know, when you're back there in the shotgun, the quarterback's got to keep his eyes down the field. He's got to keep his eyes on the coverage. So if it's a hot snap that's low, especially as you mentioned earlier, for a guy who's 6'5", be bad in a hurry. He's lucky that didn't shoot through and turn into a touchdown.
Ryan hoping and needing to get this away cleanly. He does. Logan always dangerous. Backpedals, bounces off his helmet, and Edmonton's on it! Are you kidding me? Strange things are afoot at McMahon Stadium here in the 2nd half.
Jeremy Dominique, I believe, on the special teams, and had to check the depth chart for that name, which we've had to a couple of times with the Edmonton Elks. But hey, you get a chance to be on the football field, make something happen. Take advantage of a miscue that right off the face mask of Logan. Trying to track that down. The wind probably caught it. That much more difficult. And it's easier for a returner to move up on the ball rather than try to move back and catch it over his shoulder.
Cornelius gets it to Mitchell. Nowhere to go. Wrapped up immediately from behind by Rimolade. And that'll set up 2nd and 10. But a breath of fresh air here for Edmonton, who hasn't been in this end of the field in quite some time.
Oh, yeah. Got to take advantage of this. I mean, plus yardage, plus field position, and always a big play and can be a momentum changer when you get sudden change anywhere on the field, whether it's an interception, block punt, or fumble recovery. And see if defense wins here, or can Cornelius get it done?
2nd and 10, empty backfield. Cornelius has time. Now he's going to be pressured from behind. He's got a completion down inside the 15 for a fresh set of downs as he gets Jalen Marshall involved.
Well, I like how he scrambled Cornelius with his eyes up and kept his eyes down the field. Like, he looked like he was going to take off and run, but Cam Judge was there and was going to limit that gain. He was going to be short. That's a sure tackler, and Judge right in front of him made the good decision with eyes downfield to hit Marshall and get a new set.
Ball just outside the 10, so it's a 1st and 10 situation, not 1st and goal. It's close. Walker will back off. Stand in the slot to the right. Oh, Cornelius, low snap again. Cornelius has it, trying to take off and lunges ahead, takes it down close to the 5. But that was trouble again.
Yeah, that's another low snap, and I think he just bailed on whatever play that was. You can see the frustration a little bit. He's going to have a conversation with Cordy up front, get that squared away, because I think he just any idea here on the execution of this play, he just bailed because he had to get it, went through with the fake, but he was taking off with that ball, make sure that nothing bad happened, get positive yards.
Couple of positive yards. Now 2nd and 8. Kevin Brown stands in to the left of his quarterback. Cornelius in trouble, escapes, and now he's on the run. Turns, where's he going to go? He's going to throw it away. And it'll fall harmlessly incomplete.
Yeah, good decision. You know, a good decision. He was retreating. He had a guy in his face. Snap was good. So that was cleared up there from Cordy, and then now this is trouble. Now you're going to lose 20 if you take the sack there. Make it real tough on your field goal kicker. It's a good decision by Cornelius.
Unable to take full advantage of a fortunate bounce.
Yeah, that's a win. That's a win for the Calgary defense. In the sudden change on the fumble like that, in field goal range, hold them to a field goal is a win for the Bees.
15-yard attempt for Castile. First we've heard of him today. And he is able to knock it through. And Edmonton now trails by 11.
Your family could be at this year's Grey Cup with Safeway's Tic Tac Touchdown. Play online daily for your chance to win.
Grey Cup will be a pretty good time. I want to be there.
You think?
I want to be there.
Saskatchewan's ready. It'll be a party. A little bit of football to play before we get there, but can't wait.
Season's gone by quick, but there's a lot left to be decided. Winnipeg clinching a playoff spot with that victory yesterday in thrilling fashion. Everything else still up for grabs.
How about Ottawa back in the fight?
We'll hand it off, and nowhere to go for Kadeem Carey. McLaurin in on the tackle, had an interception earlier in the game. Fourth quarter is just around the corner. Jake Mayer has put some life into this Calgary Stampeders offense with a couple of touchdown passes, both of them to Reggie Begelton. There, 8 of 9 for the Calgary Stampeders quarterback Jake Mayer, and everybody wrapping up another great weekend in the Canadian Football League here on Labor Day. Families watching across the country. What's this thing?
You know that I wear this for every single show, and it's just to honor the men and women in the Canadian Forces. We had the great flyover from the 4-wing Cold Lake group, and I was honored to be the honorary colonel of the 417 Squadron up in Cold Lake for a few years, and just want to thank the men and women in the Canadian Forces that protect our way of life, and happy Labor Day weekend to all the great football fans in our country celebrating our game, and the game bringing those families together.
Nice sippy cup. Too, that's good. Mayer, a deep shot here. And what a catch, turning around and hauling it in. Luther Hakunavanu. A flag back at midfield, but that's spectacular
just scratching the surface on Luther Akunavano. This guy is athletic. I mean, look at this
Pass
catch.
interference, Edmonton 24. That penalty be declined. Result of the play is a first down.
Yeah, they'll decline that for the highlight reel because this is one of those ones. Remember you talk about finding the football and how difficult it is for receivers to find the football over the wrong shoulder. And Akunavano does it right here. He's got pressure. He's got coverage from Richards and makes a spectacular catch. His very first catch went about 70 yards, I believe, in Canadian football. This guy's a playmaker, and we're just scratching the surface.
He's got all the tools working there against Jeff Richards, who I believe has not even had time to practice with the Elks yet. Mayer dumps it off, falls incomplete. He was looking for Henry, got turned around ever so slightly, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Let's one more time the Akunavano outstanding vintage Burnham Kenny Lawler type catch. 25 years old. He's got some height, athletic ability, and to turn, find it, lay out, and reel it in. Yes, sir. Love it. Love it.
5th round pick back in 2021. Certainly all the tools there to have success. There now. Guns another one over the middle, and that will be complete. Mar Jordan hauls it in.
Yeah, this is all Jake Mayer. I mean, Jake Mayer puts it on him across the middle. 1, 2, 3, step, bam! 18 yards between the 8 and the 8. Jordan had no choice but to catch that one.
Mayer sits at 199 yards.
He's back in rhythm.
1st and 10 from the Elks 11. Handed off to Carey, and he's wrapped up, spun around, and taken down just inside the 10 by Mark McLaurin.
See how that time Jake Mayer continues with the fake after he gives it to Carey. And he's gonna run that play and then run out on the fake. Watch how he continues out this way on the fake. See, every now and then he's got to pull the ball and take it out there. It's wide open out there for him. But it just so the defense respects it. If he does it 1 or 2 times in a game, they'll respect it. That's more room for Carey in the middle.
Carey to the sideline, Logan into the game. Low snap, Mayer picks it up, no problem. Oh, and he's hammered down from behind. Oh, that's a heavy, heavy blow from Serezna.
Just beats his man. Just a great get off to that first step from Jake Serezna. Zach Williams stuck in cement there. Couldn't get his feet moving in time. Serezna was by him.
2nd sack of the day, team leading 6th sack of the season for Serezna. Mayer, a good job to scoop that ball up as he went down. And they will settle for 3. Calgary on top by 14 early in the 4th quarter. Labor Day Classic. Mayer felt that one. The excitement keeps rolling Saturday with a CFL triple header. Hello. It gets underway at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on TSN.
Hey, Coach Dustin, are you playing Vernon Adams for the BC Lions? I'm not sure about the health status of Michael O'Connor just yet.
Am I sitting on the fence if I say, let's see how healthy O'Connor is?
Yeah, okay.
But, I mean, I am a fan of a revenge game. And I like the revenge game story there.
Yeah.
Here's Brown trying to find some room on the outside, and he does. He's got a 1st down and more, midfield, and a little bit further for Kevin Brown, who's making an excellent first impression here today.
Yeah, he is. And, you know, obviously you can catch some defenders off guard because they just haven't been able to prepare or play against you before, so they don't know your speed. It's hard to gauge it, how quick and strong you are. But having said that, it has been a great debut for Kevin Brown, and they found a guy that got 42 rushing yards, and if not behind the way they are, probably see more touches.
Yeah, those 42 yards on just 4 carries. They're going to give him another one here, trying to find some space, fighting ahead, and he gets a little bit of something out of a whole lot of nothing. 3 yards on the carry for Brown.
Been quiet since the first quarter for Darrell Walker, and I was wondering how much they could get him the ball or how effective he would be in really what is not his first position at slot back.
Targeted twice, caught both of them for 24 yards, but earlier in the ball game.
I think when your number 1 and 2 guys are out, you got to lean on Walker.
Edmonton needs 7 here. They're going to bring some pressure. Cornelius gets it away over the middle. Completion, it's to Walker. Great timing as he takes it down inside the 30. His 3rd catch of the ball game.
You got to just get him. You know, this is a really well-run route by Darrell Walker, timing up the waggle to the line of scrimmage, and then explosion into the middle, settle down just a little bit in that window. 24-yard gain for 87.
Latrell Jamerson is down on the field being tended to.
Little super slow-mo on Labor Day.
That was Jamerson who came in with some contact right at the end there on Walker, and he remains down on the field. About 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Calgary on top, 25-11. Jamerson was helped off the field, being looked at right now. Edmonton, an opportunity to make this 4th quarter somewhat interesting. Cornelius out to his right, on the run, down the field, guns it in there, and he's got a completion. Mombleau for the 2nd time today, and this one's a big catch.
I just like what I've seen with Taylor Cornelius on the run. We know he's got the big arm. He showed that in his early starts. Of late, we've seen that he's got the ability to run quite effectively, and now we can see that he can throw on the run well. His accuracy on a lot of those throws in the full run, whether it's going to his right or to his left. The best part of a successful play, going to the bench and telling all your teammates about it again.
2nd and 1, Kyle Loxley time, pushing ahead, and a really nice space being created there for Loxley, and he follows ahead for the 1st down.
Boy, finishing this drive makes it a 1-possession game and a chance to make this 4th quarter very, very interesting.
Cornelius is sitting at 220 yards, a touchdown, 17 of 14, no interceptions. 2nd trip to the red zone here today. He has fumbled a couple of times under pressure from Calgary. They'll try to create some right here. 3 receivers out to the right for Cornelius. Some pressure right up the middle. He dumps it off. Trying to stay on the feet was Jalen Marshall, but Kobe Williams would have none of it.
Well, that's a great tackle. That's a great tackle by Kobe Williams, because if he doesn't get his hands around these ankles and hangs on, that's the score. Edmonton's in. Jalen Marshall gets that corner, and the other guys had their back. The other DBs had their back to the play because they were chasing their men. So that ankle, hang on to that ankle. It's like trying to reel in a steer. I think I messed that up. I know there's
don't worry about it. In this province, that's okay. Yeah. Here's Loxley pushing ahead, and he's close to a 1st down. Looks like they got it, and they do.
Yeah, right at the marker, I think. Took a look. A little delayed crossing route. Even though he didn't have a defender behind him, it was a nice play by Loxley to come back a couple of steps, make sure, because he's not sure if there's a guy closing in on that ball behind him, and then gets the 1st. Important 5 yards here for Edmonton.
1st catch of the game, 8th play of this drive as they try to move within striking distance. the scrimmage no further.
Yeah.
Just didn't open up for him, did it?
No, it didn't. They went with an interesting formation. 4 receivers into the short side of the field, and then their back. See, here's 4 into the short side, 2 to the field, but one of those 2 is Kevin Brown, the tailback. And the idea is to spread out the linebackers and secondary so far that there's going to be a run lane on the quarterback draw. But the front 4 close the deal.
They'll go again. 2nd and goal. Cornelius to the end zone, going up for it. Oh, got a hand on it, but it falls incomplete. Jarrell Walker made a play on it. Couldn't haul it in. Moxie was in his back pocket there.
Defensively, 3rd down from the 5.
And Chris Jones hasn't even thought about taking 3 here. Just a little bit long, a little bit far. I think he thought Jarrell Walker was going to just keep running on that angle to the corner, and he flattened it out a little bit. Walker almost reeled it in with the one hand.
3rd and goal. Gotta have it here if you're Edmonton. Cornelius on the run to his right, in trouble. Stays alive to the end zone. Touchdown! He hangs on, incredible! Jalen Marshall, his first CFL touchdown, is a big one. What a play and what a finish.
On the run, Taylor Cornelius has been money in this game this afternoon, and he was being chased down from behind. Here comes Cameron Judge, catching him. Just gets it out in time, and a nice catch at the back of the end zone by Jalen Marshall.
First touchdown.
All right.
With the Elks. Castillo for the extra point, and he knocks it home. And all of a sudden, things have gotten very interesting in Calgary. Cornelius working some magic, keeping this play alive, stretching it out, and finding Jalen Marshall at the back of the end zone for an absolute beauty. 6.5 minutes.
I talked about how defenders are trying to figure out his speed, that he's got that big stride, and when he takes those steps, he's a lot faster than he looks on video. And Cam Judge got caught on an angle that got him in trouble.
High kick will be taken just inside the 40. And no chance of a return on that play.
Let me show you what I mean. Cameron Judge's got some great speed from the linebacking core, but defenders are trying to figure out Taylor Cornelius' speed and how to gauge their angle. So watch at the top of your screen. So hold it here. So right here now, when Judge, if he goes there and cuts him off, he's got a chance. But what he does is he goes shallow. Cornelius with those strides, 1, 2, 3, little stiff arm, and now he's got outside of that containment and a chance to get it to Jalen Marshall. Great play.
Now he needs his defense to make a great play. Calgary, in their last 3 possessions, touchdown, touchdown, field goal. Could seal away the game here. Mayer gets it away just in time, has Henry wrapped up and taken down by Jeff Richards after a 4-yard pickup.
Yeah, this is a monster down right here on 2nd and about 6 yards.
Cornelius sitting at 20 of 28 for 236 yards, 2 touchdowns, wanting to get that ball back again. On the other side, it's Jake Mayer, 16 of 24, 203, 2 touchdowns himself. 9 for 17 on 2nd down today. And got Malik Henry, he's got some room, he's got some speed. He'll take it down inside the 40, tripped up before he can be set free. Jerron Carter there to slow him down, or he was out of here.
Love the combination route. They take Kadeem Carey out out of the backfield and run in a combination route on the outside with Malik Henry. So here comes the outside and then the inside slant right here. The inside slant's got enough leverage to get underneath, catch it on the fly. Great accuracy on the throw, in stride, and away you go. 37-yard gain.
What a move. Carter would eventually catch him. Biggest play of the game for Henry. 37. Now they'll hand it off. And nowhere to go. Ball pops out. And now we're going to get a whistle after it's picked up by Edmonton. Oh, boy.
Well, let's see.
Oh, boy. I didn't hear a whistle.
Well, it was a late whistle. It was after Ed Gainey had scooped it, but was he down by contact before the ball came out is the question.
Seemed like it, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought so, but yeah, no, he's down.
Yeah.
No question he's down.
Second and 10 for Mayer. 4 receivers out to his left. Closing in on 250 yards. Pressure up the middle, dumps it off to Carey, and he's taken down immediately by Adam Konar. And that'll bring up third down after a loss of a couple. But Calgary finds themselves certainly within field goal range because of this. 37 yards to Malik Henry. Maybe one of the deciding factors in this football game. One of the all-time great sing-along songs.
All time. Great.
Elks fans, Stampeders fans, everybody enjoying the music.
Great crowd here at the stadium. Man Stadium. Big kick here. Bretta's makes in his sleep. And I knocked on wood for Calgary fans.
I was going to say, that's on you, man. You better hope he hits it. Bretta's! Oh, no! What have you done, Glenn? He misses it. Flies it right through the end zone. And that leaves it at an 8-point ball game. Well, very interesting.
Okay, wait. You understand that we have nothing to do with it.
Look, I've been caught guilty of this in the past as well.
I know, but this is, but what makes it challenging, hold is there. What makes it challenging, even for a kicker like Rene, is the wind. The wind is swirling. It's pushing in different directions, and it's gusting. You can line up for your field goal. And just as you're kicking it, the wind shifts.
Could have sealed it away. Now it's an 8-point game with 2:16 left, and Cornelius and the Elks with some hope. Cornelius running around, dumps it off neatly to Brown, and Brown stays on his feet. He's got a first down just outside the 50. Creativity from the quarterback.
Kevin Brown is so low and strong core that you just have to wrap him up. Looks like he's going to get tackled and brought down from behind, and he just actually kept his feet. Sean Lemon chasing him from behind.
12-yard pickup up to the Edmonton 52. Crowd getting behind this defense. Cornelius back to Brown. Held on to it, stays on his feet, breaks a tackle, and pushes ahead for very close to another first down. Just shy.
Great backs don't go down on first contact. The great backs don't. He's got a long way to go before we start calling Kevin Brown one of the great backs in the league, but what to see so far.
Bel Air Direct and the CFL want you to enjoy the game's simple pleasures. Enter for a chance to win the grand prize of an all-inclusive trip for 2 to the 109th Grey Cup.
A short push ahead, and it's another set of downs for Edmonton at the Calgary 47. 90 seconds left, clock ticking. Down 8. Labor Day. Excellent finish coming up. Cornelius hit at midfield and taken down. Terrell McLean first sack in the Canadian Football League.
Strong up the middle, three-point stance. McLean just a bull rush, just straight to him, and Taylor Cornelius had Darrell Walker on an out route open on the sideline at the first down marker.
Edmonton is 9 of 22 on second down, but they need 18 here. Cornelius steps up, guns it in there. Hot shot that flies over the head of Kai Loxley, and that will bring up third down with less than a minute to go.
Was that tipped? Was that tipped? Because again, it was.
Kobe Williams.
Yeah, he caught underneath it and tipped it, because I thought Loxley had that. It looked like it was going right into that window. Here we go. It's Labor Day.
Crowd to their feet. One play should do it. Cornelius needs 18 yards. Three-man pressure. Escapes to his right, down the field, looking for Walker. It's up for grabs, falls incomplete. Turnover on downs, and Calgary will get the ball back up 8.
This is Taylor Cornelius just trying to create now. He's got 3rd and 18, game on the line, chance to move the sticks, and he's got one chance with Darrell Walker, who runs a post route, then adjusts. But lots of Calgary Stampeders defenders in the area.
Jonathan Moxey had came down and looked like he got his shoulder on that ball. 49 seconds remaining. Jake Mayer takes over again. They'll hand it off and push ahead down to the Edmonton 50. Well, let's get your Advil Plus dual action play of the game.
Jake Mayer, after a shaky first half, came back and was on fire in the second. Just thought the accuracy on this throw, in coverage, the catch by Bagleton, throw and catch, both players play of the game today.
Those afternoon games,
yeah, it caught me, yeah.
We don't do many of them.
Well, this has been fun, and the Elks have put up a good fight. I mean, they had the lead, made it a one-possession game. Maybe the best game passing for Taylor Cornelius in this one this afternoon.
He starts to look comfortable today.
He's looking,
a big situation, right?
Yep, he's looking a lot more comfortable every single game. But Jake Mayer, big second half.
2nd and 5 here after Edmonton had stopped the clock. They'll get it to Kadeem Carey, and Carey will be stopped short, probably of a couple of yards on that play.
And Dave Dickinson's decision, who he was not going to give Sarah, which I got to talk to Coach Dickinson about that. He wasn't going to give Sarah the scoop at halftime about who was playing quarterback in the second half.
A little farewell story, right?
Yeah, but you know what? He knew it was going to be Jake Mayer. He's going to let him work his way out of a shaky first half, and that's exactly what he did. It was a very interesting debate at halftime with the panel on what they would do, or different philosophies, big picture thoughts on the franchise sort of making a change.
Timeout, Calgary.
Well, they will go to, well, still 18 seconds, but very, very, very likely going to pick up the win here. 3-0 versus Edmonton this year.
Yeah.
Their only losses, 3 to Winnipeg and 1 to Nathan Rourke when he was healthy in the BC Lions. Outside of that,
so as
they haven't lost anybody else.
Yeah, and you just saw the standings, and those are the 2 teams ahead of them.
Yep.
So, you know, that's the king of the hill is still the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Calgary, of course, will get Edmonton again this upcoming weekend, and then back-to-backs against the BC Lions. Depending what happens with BC between now and then, that could be 2 massive football games. This will be kicked. Jerron Carter back on it. He'll grab it and step out of bounds with 9 seconds on the clock.
Well, again, thank you to the 250 military personnel that are in the house, to the flyover from Four Wing Cold Lake. Really appreciate that and all you do. Happy Labor Day weekend to Canadians across the country. Been a great couple of days of Canadian football, a couple of close games, interesting strategies, down to the wire, the rivalries, some great physicality that we love in the game of football. And happy Labor Day weekend, everybody.
Lots to talk about. Good one. Yeah. Lots to talk about coming out of this weekend. 9 seconds. A miracle is what they need now. Cornelius in trouble. And that'll be blown down with a couple of seconds on the clock. Fifth sack of the game. Jake Mayer gets his second victory in his career.
And we'll do the rematch in a week. And the Banjo Bowl. Not necessarily you and I.
I was going to say, I'm in Winnipeg.
I'm in Winnipeg.
Okay,
okay,
right. So we're not doing the one next week.
Not the Battle of Alberta next week.
That'll be a good one, too. But this rematch will be a good one, too, after seeing Cornelius play against this Calgary defense today. They're going to bring some heat. He escapes out to his right on the run and throws it out of bounds, and that'll do it. Calgary Stampeders back in the win column on Labor Day. Give them 9 of the last 10, a little blip on the radar last season. Jake Mayer, 18 of 26 for 238 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and picks up the victory as Edmonton and Chris Jones now lost to the Stampeders 3 times this season. They'll play again this upcoming weekend and try to finally find their way in to the win column. Calgary Stampeders didn't start great, but when it mattered the most, they finished strong and improved to 7-4 on the season. That's going to do it for us from Labor Day. Let's send it to Laura Dykin in Sportscenter.